Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I am going to do a video I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I just was like, I really need to get out and do this video. So I'm gonna take my Esker Ty Hey Duke. So this is my lightest, fastest bike at the moment. It's got carbon wheels, titanium frame, and so on. And so, yeah, it's definitely faster because it's lighter. It has 27.5 wheels on it with 2.6 tires. I can configure this with like the bird spoke wheels and stuff to make it even lighter and even faster, but this is kind of the configuration I like. Makes the bike a little more shreddable and stuff like that. So here's what we're gonna do today. I brought my clipless pedals and my new 510 clipless shoes. I just got these like probably a little over a month ago. Trail Cross CL. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm at Lone Lake Park over here. I'm going to do a one lap with my 510s, my trusty 510s. You can see they're pretty well worn in, but they still grip really good. So I'm going to do these with my Wolf Tooth waveform pedals, and I've talked about these pedals before. They are definitely some of my faves. So that'll be this combo, and then I'm going to do a lap, and then I have my Garmin Edge 540. I brought this. I usually use my watch, but I think this is more accurate. So I think I'm going to use this. Hopefully it's more accurate, and we're just going to time things and see how it goes. So first lap, 510 and the Wolf Tooth waveform pedals. So basically really grippy shoes on really good platforms, and we'll see what my time is like. And then we'll go do a lap with the clipless pedals, or clip pedals is what we should be calling them, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit start and just get going right away. Yeah, I'll talk about it as I start riding. Here we go. So I'm not gonna push 100% of my effort because I just won't make 2 laps doing that, but I am going to push pretty good and try to do the same for both and see kind of what's easier, if there's really an advantage to the clipless pedals, and then we'll just look at the results afterwards. Whew. So the reason I picked this trail is because there's a lot of climbing, and I feel like if there's anywhere there's an advantage of being clipped in, it's when there's a lot of climbing. So one of the nice things about this computer is if I do have to stop for any reason, there's somebody in the trail or whatever, or I just flat out get too exhausted, it stops the timer and starts it back up again. So we'll just have to go by how I feel. I won't have a lot to talk about in comparison pedaling until I get on my clip shoes, because I'm so used to riding platforms that there's not a lot to talk about. Try to take the same lines on both laps too. Oh, more climbing. Whew. All right. And again. The nice thing about doing these back to back like this is the trail conditions aren't going to change between runs, so that's important because, you know, if I came like another day to do another lap, the trail conditions might be either looser or more tacky. There are some loose sections here and there right now, and so you can go faster if it's really tacky, but if it's loose, you go a little slower. You gotta slow down corners and stuff like that. My computer beeps every time I catch air. It's like got some kind of weird air meter in it. Yeah. Okay, so this is a long sustained climb. Here we go. This DVO fork, it has that off the top feature, and man, it really helps with my arms when it gets really chattery. And when I'm doing something like this where I'm just gonna go straight through, not take any rest breaks, it's kind of nice to have that chatter taken up by the fork. So just another benefit of DVO. There's other forks that have similar features, but I have this one set up really well. It's 120 millimeter travel, so not a ton, but enough. Oh, this is the downhill, kind of a couple of jumps, downhill part. I'm not trying to push my absolute hardest on the downhills. I want to kind of keep it the same for both runs, and if I'm pushing as hard as I can and then I make any mistakes, it significantly slows me down. So my goal here is consistency. Oh, I just got done with a big climb. Oh man, now it's gonna flow for a little bit. This is a fun trail. It's work. You have to earn these slow downhill sections, but it's fun. Okay, more. Just got done with more climbing. Still a little bit. Should get some downhill flow. Oh, I got a rider ahead. I'll have to keep track of how many riders I have to pass. Oh, Thank you. So that person moved where I didn't even really have to slow down much, so that was good. You always gotta be polite, even though I'm trying to do a speed lap. I'm not gonna be rude to people on the trail. I've got about a half a mile to go, but there is one really brutal climb. Right up here will be a nice fun flow section, and then brutal climb. Here's the flow section. Oh, so much fun. Oh, here's the bumpy stuff. Whoa. Try to maintain some momentum here. Okay, the brutal climb coming up. So you got this roll, then this roll, and just a beast. Oh, 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 geez. Whew. Okay, coming to the finish. Right up here. Okay, so now I am going to take a rest break. There was 479 feet of climbing. I'm not going to talk about the times yet because I want to do the next run, and we'll talk about the times at the end. But yeah, pretty cool. I need a rest break. I'm gonna eat some peanut M&Ms to kind of get my energy back up, drink some water, just make sure that I'm, you know, back to 100% before I do the next lap, because it wouldn't make sense for me to jump in right now, because then I would be too tired and wouldn't really get a good result. So I gotta let myself rest, and then we'll do the next lap. And I gotta switch pedals out and change shoes and all that, so that'll be good. So, all right, here we go. Round 2. Got the 510, you know, clip-in shoes. And I have my time pedals on there. Yeah, I run times. Those are my favorites. And so yeah, we'll get this lap going. I mean, this isn't scientific. I mean, there's so many variables. And I'm doing almost 5 miles. I feel like that's a long enough distance where even if there are little discrepancies, it should still pan out if there's a big enough advantage to one pedal over the other. So yeah, let's get... Okay, we'll do the same thing. Get this started here. Oops. Okay, there we go. We'll just go ahead and hit start and get going. Ready? Here we go. Oh yeah, and then there's the getting clipped in part that delays. I'm definitely not as used to this. I definitely do a lot more road clipped in, but certainly not mountain biking. Oh, and I gotta remember to go over these rocks, because I did on the other pedal, on the other lap. All right, get my rhythm going. Oh, I feel equally as exhausted doing the climb. Oh, gosh. All right. Another thing about this that I have to keep in mind is, will I have as much confidence on the downhills being clipped in if I am nervous about not being able to get my foot out really easily or something. But I don't think that'll be an issue. Pretty good at getting my foot out. I've run clipped in quite a few times in my life. Well, I definitely have a hard time noticing whether or not it's any faster being clipped in. But it could be, and I just don't realize it. Not quite sure. I definitely can pull up on the back side of my pedal stroke. Yeah, I'm gonna say I rode my brakes a little bit more there because I was nervous. I was like, man, I really don't want to slide out on that little geode at the bottom of that hill. Where when I had my platforms, I pretty much just full out bombed it. Ooh. I better go over this because I went over it last time. It's like my seat post is creaky. I have a feeling that's the titanium, the aluminum post. I have to put more tie prep in there. That's my guess. Whew. All right, here's that pretty long sustained climb. So if there's any advantage to these pedals, this is where it's gonna happen. Oh gosh. And more. So hard to tell if I feel like I have any more power or not. I mean, maybe a little bit. Or maybe my pedal stroke's just more smoother and circular, so it's harder for me to know if it's providing me any more power. I don't know. Yeah, I'm over halfway through. Just past 2.5 miles. Ooh, and I'm worked. Okay, more sustained climbing. Oh, yeah. As far as like leg fatigue, like that burning, I don't have as much of it when I'm clipped in, so there might be an advantage there. Might have something to do with the fact that when you're not clipped in, you're doing push, you know, super hard over and over again, to where when you're clipped in, you're doing more of a circular motion and using more muscles, different muscles. I don't know. Fun. Oh, I've looked at the time, I'm just like, well, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, very interesting. Super brutal climb coming. Oh my gosh. Last stretch. I see the finish. My Garmin says I need 66 hours of recovery time after that. Okay, I had to rest a little bit. I'm standing in the shade. Usually I try to be where it's sunny because you get better filming if there's light on me, but I want to be in the shade. It's not super hot out, but man, whew, that was work. 2 laps. Not as hard as I can go, but pretty darn close, right? Okay, so what are the results? So, with the flat pedals and my 510 shoes, wolf tooth waveform pedals, and you know I like those shoes, or those pedals, I talk about them all the time, nice and grippy and stuff like that. I had 31 minutes and 16 seconds. So the question is what was my clipped in lap? So while I'm chatting here, just post in the comments what you think was faster before I disclose it. Give you a second to do that. I gotta turn my heart rate monitor up. Okay, so my clipped in lap was 30.31. So exactly 45 seconds faster to be clipped in. And if I was to be honest, I mean, aside from that one quick stop, you might, I'd say 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe, my lap clipped in. I didn't get interrupted at all, so you know it's gonna be a little faster because of that. But we're probably talking, let's say a possible 15-second range for error in there, both ways, right? So I felt like my legs were less fatigued when I was clipped in. And that's a huge advantage if you really think about it, because then I can push harder with my legs. I definitely felt like my cardio was worked a bit harder. Actually, I can look really quick. Let me just look at my stats really quick, and then I'll talk about like kind of effort for me on both laps. Okay, so my average speed not clipped in was 9.1 miles per hour, and my average speed while clipped in was 9.4 miles per hour. My heart rate was about the same for both. It maxes out at about 163 for my age. That is pretty normal. And my average was around 138 for both laps. So I don't know, that's a little bit of a difference, 0.2 of a mile per hour. You know, using the same computer, it did come out with the same amount of climbing and the same distance both laps, you know, very close anyway. So I feel like those numbers are pretty accurate. So yeah, kind of stoked on that. It does bring into question though, is, you know, let's just say 30 seconds. If we lop 15 seconds off for the when I had to stop and let the kid pass and get going again. Let's just say 30 seconds faster being clipped in over about, it's roughly 4.75 miles on this with 473 or 475 feet of climbing, somewhere in there. So yeah, I mean, that's not a huge difference. So if you're clipping in for speed, you definitely get it. But it's very subtle, very small. I do feel like modern day platform pedals and like 510 shoes or super grippy shoes really do help you have a pretty good pedal contact and stroke. Not quite as good as being clipped in, but close enough in my opinion. So yeah, pretty stoked on that. Cool, well there you have it. 2 fast laps through Lone Lake. That was kind of fun. I need to do this kind of stuff more often just for the fitness aspect of it, because I definitely kicked my own ass. Appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe.